So today we're going to talk about something, a mirage, that so many of us get lost in, this really alluring idea of who someone could be. It's that huge gap between potential and reality, and honestly, it's a pretty dangerous place to try and build a life. Let's break down exactly why.
And this is really the question, isn't it? The one you have to ask yourself. Are you in love with the person standing in front of you or the version of them you've built in your head? Because that space between who they could be and who they are, well, that's where all the disappointment and heartbreak tends to live. They are just not the same thing.
You see, potential, it's this loud, seductive thing, isn't it? It's always whispering in your ear, just wait, it's going to get better. It's exciting, it can be really inspiring. But reality is quiet. It doesn't make these grand speeches about the future. It just shows up every single day. It reveals itself in patterns. One is basically a story you're being told, and the other is the truth.
Okay, so if reality is just right there in front of us, why is it so easy to get caught in this trap? Let's get into why potential feels so incredibly real.
And here's the thing. The truth is, falling for potential, it doesn't mean you're weak. Not at all. It's actually a sign of something really beautiful. Hope. And hope is one of the most powerful emotions we have. It's what makes us patient and forgiving. It makes us want to see the very best in people. It's the engine behind our belief that people can grow and change.
But, and this is a really big but, there's a tipping point. Hope is amazing and healthy when it's based on actual evidence. But when it's not, when it's just floating out there with nothing to hold on to, you start to slowly abandon yourself. You abandon your own needs, your own reality, all for a fantasy.
And this is what it looks like in real life, right? You're not really loving the person who's with you today. You're in a relationship with a ghost from the future, the version of them that exists after they heal, or when things finally slow down, or once they get their act together. But a real relationship has to live in the now.
So how do you actually tell the difference? How do you know if your hope is healthy or if you're just, well, caught up in a fantasy? It really all comes down to looking for evidence.
Think of it like this. This is the real dividing line. Potential is all talk. It lives in promises, in some days, and it requires you to do the work of imagining a better future. Reality, on the other hand, well, reality is about demonstration. It shows up today, in the present, and it requires accountability for actions, not just for good intentions. And this right here is probably one of the most important things to get. Someone can have all the capacity in the world to be a fantastic partner, a wonderful person. But that capacity means absolutely nothing if they don't choose to use it. Reality is built on the choices people make every single day, not on some untapped ability they might have.
So you gotta ask yourself, and be really honest here, are you just waiting? Are you waiting for time to do the heavy lifting? It's so easy to fall into that trap, thinking, oh, they just need a little more time.
Yeah, but that's just not how it works. It's not true. Time is passive. Time doesn't change anyone. Change is an active process. It requires conscious, repeated decisions to be different, to do better, to show up. Without those decisions, 10 years can go by, and nothing will have changed at all.
Okay, so what's the big deal? What actually happens when you stay stuck in this cycle, just waiting for a potential that never really shows up? Well, the cost is huge, and you're the one who pays it. It's this slow, quiet erosion of your own self.
It leads to this thing, you can call it emotional debt. You know that feeling? When you're just completely drained because you're constantly the one giving more. More patience, more understanding, more second chances than you ever get back? That imbalance is just exhausting.
It's like you think you're building something together, brick by brick. But then you look around and you realize you're the only one holding the bricks. You're not building a relationship. You're just carrying it. All of it. And when you carry that weight for long enough, something starts to happen to you. You start to shrink. You start doubting your standards, asking yourself, am I asking for too much? You minimize your own needs. You make excuses for red flags. And worst of all, you start to lose trust in your own gut, your own judgment.
Okay, that was heavy, I know. So let's pivot. We've talked about the trap, now let's talk about how to get out. How do you spot the difference between real growth and, well, just more empty promises? You have to learn the language of reality. First things first, you have to really, truly get this in your head. Love is not a rehab center. It is not your job to fix someone. It is not your job to save them or to be the one who finally unlocks their potential. They have to do the work themselves, for themselves.
So what does that real work actually look like? What's the evidence you should be looking for? Well, it's not some big, grand, one-time gesture. It's these 4 things. It's consistent effort, day in and day out. It's actual changed behavior you can see. It's taking accountability without making excuses. And, this one's huge, it's them taking action without you having to ask them to.
It really boils down to this. Just pay attention to what you see versus what you hear. Potential talks a big game. It's all words and promises. But real growth? Growth moves. It creates actual, tangible change that you can feel right now.
All right, so let's bring this all home. I know that making the choice to stop waiting for potential, it can be one of the hardest things you'll ever do. But it's not about giving up on someone else. It's about choosing yourself and choosing reality.
It feels like you're giving up, right? Like you're failing. Like you're abandoning what could have been. But what if we reframe that? What if it's not giving up at all? What if it's waking up? Waking up to the truth of your situation and the reality of what you actually deserve.
And I really want to be clear about this. If you've been in this situation, it doesn't mean you're naive. It doesn't mean you're foolish. It means you are a hopeful person. You're someone who wants to see the best in others. And that is a strength, not a weakness.
So the lesson here isn't to become cynical or to kill that beautiful hope inside you. No way. The lesson is to make sure your hope has a partner, and that partner is evidence. Hope for the best, absolutely, but base your life decisions on what is actually happening.
Because ultimately, this is what it all boils down to. You don't deserve a love that might be great someday. You don't deserve a partner who's going to be amazing, down the line. You deserve love and life and happiness now.